Gentlemen, ladies, if you would please, I would like you to hold your boards in a way that we can see them, but you are not hiding behind them. Also, student procedure. You should have your notebook out. Everything that we did on our board should be in your notebook. Because you may need this information in the near future. Will you go, you guys go sit over there? Yeah. Thank you so much. It's better for the camera work. All right. Let's see your boards, please. Okay. I think Lauren draws the best whiteboards. What do you think? I think, she's got the right size handwriting. It's neat, understandable. All right. No, it's fine. You guys did a great job. So, George, tell us what you did in the lab.
So, we were measuring the metal ball on one side, and we were measuring at what distance from the center the weight would have to be to make it balance.
All right, and what do you notice?
That every time we increase the weight, it goes closer and closer to the center.
So as the mass increases, the distance from the center decreases.
Correct.
You guys, did everyone get that?
Yeah.
What do we call this type of variation?
Inverse.
Good. This is absolutely an inverse variation. Okay? If you don't have that written down on your paper, you need to write that down. This is an inverse variation for sure.
That's so
Dude, I got a book on the last program I just gave up.
You got to hold it up, man, so we can see it. Good. So, but not high behind. It's like one rule. So here's the question. You ready?
Yep.
If this is an inverse variation, there should be a relationship of some sort between the independent and dependent variables, yes? So if you look at your independent to dependent variable, hopefully you have a doubling, right? Like a doubling from one independent to the next, or a tripling or a quadrupling. I would like you to check with your group and see if you double the independent, what happens to the dependent? If you triple the independent, what happens to the dependent? All right? Check with your neighbor. See if your neighbor has a sense of what's going on here.
And it goes down.
Yeah.
So if you go from that, let's do 100, it goes down by half. Like it goes from 40 to
This is actually pretty close
This is doubling the
yeah, that makes sense because 45 becomes 60.
If it triples there.
No, it doesn't, it goes down. So
It would be a third.
it also makes similar, yeah.
It just goes down the opposite bracket. 9 times 5 is 35.
All right, we got it?
Times 4.
All right.
By 4, that's like makes sense.
So, coach me up. What'd you decide?
So when this doubles, land doubles 4. 46 divided by 4 is
When it doubles,
I drew it on the wall.
It looks like you made your data up. I mean, to be honest. No, I'm not saying you did. I'm saying.
Are you kidding me right now?
All right, Brendan, coach us up. What do you tell us about your boards?
Okay, so like.
Loudly, please.
Okay, sure. Thanks. So ours, we did not make up our data. And so like, if you, so when you double the mass, the distance halves. When you triple the mass, the distance thirds. When you times the mass by 4, the distance like divides by 4. And ours were like perfect numbers, but we didn't make it up.
Did anyone else get the same result here?
Yes.
So I think that's pretty conclusive. I talked to each of the groups. This is conclusive that this is absolutely an inverse variation. And I think it makes a lot of sense. Right? If you increase the mass, does the distance decrease?
Yeah.
I feel good about that. All right. Do you have a coefficient?
Yes.
What's your coefficient number over here?
Oh, that was quick.
I don't think we have one.
You do.
We do.
I don't know.
What's the number?
1,000.
108.
84.7.
1,084.
0.7.
0.7. But don't forget the 0.7.
Never forget
Um,
7.
Lauren, what's your coefficient number?
8,059.
8,059. All right. Caitlin?
4,806.78.
All right, you're 4,800. Charlie?
We had 2,300.
2,300.
2,258.
2,200. And this last one here?
2,982.
2982. Okay, so this is weird because we all got different numbers, yes? Okay, that can't be, I mean, it's probably not a, oh, they got you that time. Two things. One, why are they different?
Because we used different math.
Second thing, you didn't, you all used the same number.
They were different distances.
Yeah, why?
Because you put them distances away.
But they had to balance.
No, on like the opposite
Yeah,
side.
you put the.
Okay, that's one. Let's think about that. The second question is, what are the units of the coefficient? So work with your neighbors right now. We need to know what are the units, and I want you to figure out what are the units. But then I also want you to have like a reason why you think that makes sense.
I was just like,
Okay.
you brought that from the planetarium. Yeah, why'd you take it from I don't like that.
What, cancel?
Centimeters divided by
Right.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't know. Figure out what it is and
I don't know. Well, what's on the bottom? Well, no, that's yeah, but every single time just like running out of Rob, is there back door?
That's what you're supposed to
Really?
Wait, how much? That's like the max. And you know how they say like I'm gonna go
Hey, hey, hey!
Really? That's kind of like average.
Centimeters per grain.
Yeah. I take that firsthand.
Yeah, now you know.
Because that's
Centimeters. Okay, I crashed my car. I
thought we were 48 meters away. Okay.
I hit the car, I think the car next to me.
Knowing our previous superintendents, that's probably gonna be important enough.
Centimeters times grain.
Okay, hold on. On Friday.
What do you have? What do you guys? Units. Centimeters per grain.
Flash out in my eyes.
We're 30 meters away. All right.
I like. I just like range.
Are you ready? There's a couple answers out there. There's a couple answers out there that I like. Let's see if we can. Well, let's just poll people. What are your answers? Grace, what do you think?
You said centimeters divided by grams.
Centimeters per gram.
Right.
Seems very reasonable. All right. George, what do you guess?
Centimeters per gram.
Centimeters per gram.
Centimeter per gram.
Centimeter per gram. I feel like we're developing a consensus here. Okay. Brendan, what do you guys have?
We have centimeters times grams.
Centimeters times grams.
Oh, yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. Madeline, what do you have?
Centimeters times grams.
Centimeters times grams. And what do you guys have over here?
Centimeters per gram.
Centimeters. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Okay. So this is interesting. Okay. Let's hold on. I want everyone to be involved in the discussion. So I want to hear what you guys are saying, but let's put your board down for a second. Okay. Toshi, you said something interesting. You said we think it's centimeters per gram. Tell me why you think so.
Because rise over rate.
Okay. So up until now, what have we been doing? We've always looked for the slope. True? And slope is a ratio of the vertical to the horizontal. So you took the vertical divided by horizontal, centimeters per gram. Consistent with what we've done, feels pretty good. Right or no?
Well,
Yes?
it's not a line, so it doesn't really have a slope.
It's not.
You don't, Sophia, you don't like that though?
If it was like that, then the units wouldn't cancel.
What do you mean by that?
We said it's grams times centimeters because you're dividing by mass, so that cancels grams, and you're left with centimeters, and that's what we measured the distance. So
Yeah.
the units
I
make
agree.
more sense.
I know, I'll get them in a second. You just made it worse.
Lizzie, were you picking up what she was laying down there?
Give me the board.
What's easiest?
Do you understand what she was saying?
Yeah.
Okay, can you repeat it for us? Or rephrase it for us?
Well, since it's grams times centimeters, the grams and mass cancel because mass is on the denominator. So the distance is centimeters, so it'd be centimeters equals centimeters.
Okay.
There, I'm on board.
Well, yeah, let's see it on the board.
Yeah, you can like zoom in.
I'm doing that right now.
Right there.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you even talking about? Kaylin, you guys had something different though.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
So, in light of what they said, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? You still like what you got, or you want to do something different?
I think what they had makes sense because we were thinking it would be like centimeters over grams to have it cancel out. I think it would be centimeters times grams for it to cancel out.
Okay. Well, here's another way you can think about it. Okay. Here's another way you can think about it. Okay. And I'm going to suggest this to you, and then what did I do? I'm going to suggest this to you, and then you guys can figure out what you think. So, according to what you guys are telling me, this is your equation where your coefficient goes up here. True? Okay? So, if you want to solve for just your coefficient, algebraically, what would you do to both sides? Go ahead.
Times by mass.
You're going to multiply both sides by mass. Is that cool?
Yeah.
If you do that, on the left side I'm going to have mass times the distance is going to equal to your coefficient. You all have different numbers, right? So, does this help you understand the units better? Okay? So check with your neighbor, see if this helps you understand the units better. Think about what the units would be, all right? Check with your neighbor now, okay? What do you think the units are given this construct? Does that help?
Well,
So what are the units of mass? What are the units of mass? So it can't be centimeters divided by.
I threw that for the beginning of the day.
That's how you
And
calculate.
so I threw that Leah at the beginning of the day, right? And then probably people always talking about it.
What are you doing, man?
Sorry, it's just like,
I got you. So, what do you guys think now, based upon this and what you heard earlier?
Well, actually, I previously thought one thing, but now I might have been persuaded.
How this works, man. How this works. All right. So, given this, what do you think? What do you want the units to be now?
centimeters of gram.
Centimeters over grams? I mean, when I multiply these unit-wise, this would be grams times centimeters, yeah? So, I think that something Sophia said earlier that was interesting was when we analyzed linear, we were calculating the slope, that was the rise over